Oh, let's talk about productivity. Specifically, my super simple routine that keeps me focused, productive, and hitting my goals basically every day. For me, one of the easiest but most effective ways to get more done in a day is to wake up early. I'm not talking anything crazy like 5 a.m., but these days I'm waking up right around 6:30. First things first, like a stereotypical hipster influencer, I start my day with a cup of coffee. I'm one of those guys. For those of you who don't care, I apologize, but I weigh out 10 grams of coffee with 160 milliliters of water and brew it in a Hario V60, which gets me about a 5.41 ounce cup. It's a pretty small cup, but I found that if I drink too much more, I tend to crash later in the day, so after way too much experimentation, this is the perfect size for me. For breakfast, my goal is basically just to make something in under 5 minutes that's reasonably healthy. Today, that's cereal. You don't have to watch me eat. I get a little bit anxious to start the day, so I try to eat as quickly as possible before getting into my morning. Stretching sucks. It's so boring, but I almost never skip it. To make it even somewhat tolerable, I'll usually listen to a podcast or sometimes even put on a video, depending on the stretches I'm doing. I've learned that if I want to be productive first thing in the morning, I need to A, feel awake, hence the coffee, and B, I need to feel good. And as someone who sits at a desk most of the day, stretching definitely helps with that. After taking care of basic hygiene, which is hopefully part of your routine as well, it's time to get to work. Although I do have this problem where I kind of just wear black t-shirts a lot of the time, and I have a cat, so I basically have to lint roll my shirt every morning because no matter what, there's like always fur on it. Look at that. I try to be at my desk every day around 8 a.m., ready to rock and roll. It's a little bit of an ego thing, but something about just getting to work early feels so good. On a more practical level though, I work from home and I tend to call it quits about the same time every day, and I've noticed as a trend that the earlier I start, the more total hours I work in a day, which at this point in my life, I am calling a positive thing. I work as a freelancer, so right off the bat, I'm gonna check my email, messages, just to see if anything urgent came up, and sometimes this does alter my plan for the day. I have to change the song on a video I'm working on, which if any of you do video editing, you know is the simplest sounding change that can prove to be problematic. This time though, it shouldn't take very long at all. Next, it's time to get rid of my phone. I don't want to see it, I don't want to hear it, I don't even want to think about it. I want it as far away from me and out of my mind as possible. Sometimes I put this thing on silent, other times I power it off completely just to make it as difficult as possible for myself to get distracted. When I'm working, even sending a quick message can get me so off track. I feel like I lose my momentum. Sometimes I have to go back and rewatch things to get in that flow state again. So let's get rid of this thing. Anyways, let's talk about my productivity system. I use an app called Notion to organize pretty much my entire life. That would have to be a dedicated video on its own, but I just want to show you my basic weekly checklist. Alright, so at the beginning of each week, I've got a template set up where with one click, I'm ready to go. I fill out the date just to keep things organized, and then I figure out my big goals for the week. These aren't small things like clean my cat's litter box or go grocery shopping. These are the biggest, most important things I need to get done in the week. So for instance, this week, one thing I need to do is pre-production and shoot a music video. I need to shoot this YouTube video. I need to cull and start editing photos from a wedding I shot. That's not everything I need to do this week, but you get the idea. Then I open up the day of the week and make a rough plan for the day. So as you can see on Monday, there are already a few things sort of underneath this line. These are just simple daily tasks like email, notifications, footage dump if I'm doing one of my 30-day challenge videos. But yeah, once I know my big goals for the week, I sort of just break it down into like a checklist of what I think I can get done every day. Let's say I don't get everything done, just take a daily task, drag it to the next day. I typically only spend a couple of minutes on this because at some point I need to actually get to work. Again, one thing I forgot to mention earlier, even if my phone's put away, sometimes I get a little distracted while working, opening one too many Chrome tabs. So I use a little extension called Block Site. If I find myself getting distracted, I can block that site for the day. It's not perfect. I know I could technically get around it if I wanted to, but it helps. This morning I'll be culling photos from a wedding I shot. By the looks of it, there are 4,080 of them. So it's gonna take some time. Rather than subject you to that, here's a quick message from the sponsor of today's video, which is Skillshare. If it wasn't obvious, I'm a very creative person. I love photography and filmmaking, and to keep progressing, I've been using Skillshare. If you don't already know, Skillshare is the largest online learning community for creatives with thousands of classes led by industry experts in film, photography, design, and so much more. One of my favorite content creators, Jed Cal, just launched a new class on how he makes his vlogs, and as a creator myself, I loved seeing his behind the scenes and learning his personal workflow. Skillshare has loads of classes from other creators I watch like Marquez Brownlee and Ali Abdaal as well. Whether you're interested in productivity, music, or marketing, there's pretty much something for everyone. Also, they recently added 3 new categories, which are creative careers, creativity and inspiration, and AI and innovation, so their catalog is constantly expanding. And the best part is that the first 500 people to use my link in the description of this video will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. If there's something you've always wanted to learn, or you're looking to level up your skills, take the first step today. Skillshare makes it super easy to get started. So it's the afternoon now. Normally this is when I would check my phone, email, messages, all that again. Sometimes I need to be a little bit more readily available, but if everything's good, I try to put my phone away. From here, I basically just work the rest of the afternoon. For as long as I'm feeling focused and energized, I spend that time on my most important, most creative tasks. On a good day, that's the rest of the day, but I'm not perfect. If I'm completely spent, maybe my mind starts to wander or the quality of my work starts to suffer, but I still want to be productive, that's when I shift gears and work on some more tedious tasks. These are things that I still need to get done at some point, but they're boring and require basically no brain power. It could be things like transferring footage, charging batteries, sending invoices. I always work till at least 5, but sometimes I just keep going. Whether it's client work or personal stuff for my YouTube channel, there's always more I want to get done. Alright, so I just finished dinner and now I'm heading to the gym. Or I guess it's technically been like an hour and a half. I spent that time relaxing. But yeah, let's go. I used to not understand working out at night at all, but it's honestly kind of the best habit ever. No matter how tired I feel, no matter how much I don't want to get up, if I can manage to get in the car and drive myself there, it basically just replaces time I'd spend scrolling on my phone or watching YouTube or playing video games. I'm not sure if I have quite as much energy as I would earlier in the day, but I really enjoy it. Also, when I work out this late, I sleep so good. By the time I get home, I just knock out. I sleep like a baby. I really enjoy working out at night. Alright, so I just got back from the gym, and usually this is where I would make the executive decision to either work a little more or just relax. If I've got a deadline to hit or I'm just really feeling the flow, I'll continue working, but honestly today I'm pretty dead. Just gonna relax the rest of the night. I always try to mention in these types of videos, this isn't gonna be my routine forever, but it's working super well for me right now. So if you're looking to change things up, hopefully this gave you a few ideas, consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one.